Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a close look at a really fascinating story. It's from some ancient texts,
Hmm.
and it unpacks this moment of, well, very human conflict, but also a surprising perspective and ultimately a really powerful teaching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this deep dive uses excerpts from a text called Daharabhikkhuvatthu and its commentary. We're basically stepping back in time.
Exploring the specific incident and the kind of profound lessons that get drawn from it.
Exactly. It's a window into ancient Buddhist teachings, but revealed through a very real, very human interaction.
Okay, so our mission today is to follow this story, this narrative thread, understand the different viewpoints clashing here,
Right.
and really grasp the core wisdom that comes out of it. It's, like you said, a great example of insight from everyday stuff. Let's dive in.
Okay. So the story begins in Jetavana, which, if you read these texts, it's a very common setting.
Right, pops up all the time.
We're specifically at the house of this lay follower, Visakha, very generous supporter.
And generous is putting it mildly, right? The sources mention she provided daily rice porridge yagu for 500 monks.
Yeah, 500 every day. She was clearly a huge supporter, a real pillar for the Sangha, the community.
Definitely.
So one morning, this elder monk shows up at her house. He's got a younger monk with him, a Daharabhikkhu.
Okay.
They have their morning meal there, the porridge.
Yeah.
After the elder finishes his yagu, he leaves. Just leaves the young monk there and goes off somewhere else.
Okay, so the young monk is left behind at Visakha's house, and her granddaughter is there.
Yes, her son's daughter. She's helping out, kind of acting in her grandmother's place, taking care of the monk's needs.
Got it. And this is where things get interesting.
This is where it kicks off, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The granddaughter is straining water for the young monk.
And while she's doing that, pouring the water, she sees her own reflection in the water pot, the kaisa.
Mm-hmm. And seeing her reflection, she laughs.
Just laughs. Okay. And the young monk.
Well, he sees her laughing. He looks at her, and then he laughs too.
Ah. So mutual laughter. But it doesn't stay lighthearted, does it?
Not at all. This is the catalyst.
Yeah.
Seeing him laugh, apparently after she laughed at her reflection, she says something pretty sharp.
Yeah. What does she say?
She says, Chinasiso hasatiti. Basically, the one with the cut-off head is laughing.
Whoa. Cut off head. That sounds harsh and kind of weird. Directed at a monk with a shaved head.
It definitely lands harshly. Maybe she vented about, the shaved head, the detachment from appearance compared to her own reflection. It's not totally clear why she chose that phrase, but...
But the young monk takes it badly.
Oh, absolutely. He doesn't just let it go. He fires right back. Calls her Chinasiza, the female version, one with a cut-off head.
Okay, so he turns it right back on her.
And then some. He extends it to her parents. Says, Matapitaropite Chinasiya, which means even your mother and father have cut off heads.
Wow. Okay, so this just exploded. From laughter to trading insults about cut off heads. How does Visakha react when she finds out?
Well, the granddaughter is obviously upset. She goes crying to Visakha in the kitchen, tells her what the monk said.
And Visakha comes out, tries to play mediator.
Exactly. She comes to the young monk, tries to smooth things over, very respectfully, addresses him as Bhante, venerable sir.
What's her approach?
She says something like, Bhante, please don't be angry. Look, this isn't really such a big deal for a noble one like you. You wander for alms, you have cut hair, cut nails, cut robes, you carry a cut pot, meaning the begging bowl. She's trying to reinterpret cut off in the context of renunciation.
Ah, I see. So she's saying, look, cut off just refers to all the things you've given up for the holy life. It's not a personal insult.
Precisely. A very, let's say, diplomatic interpretation, trying to diffuse it by reframing the words.
Does it work?
Nope, not even a little bit. The young monk is not placated. He basically says, yes, Upasika, addressing Visakha as a lay follower, you get my state, the cut hair, and all that. But, he insists, is it right for her to insult me by calling me Chinasiso?
So he's sticking to his guns. He feels personally insulted, regardless of her explanation. The mediation fails.
Completely. The text says Visakha couldn't convince either of them, the young monk or her granddaughter. Neither would budge.
And the argument is still going on?
Still going when the elder monk, the one who left earlier, comes back.
Oh, the senior monk returns,
Yeah.
walks right into this mess.
Perfect timing, yeah. He asks Visakha, what's all this about?
She tells him the story. What does the elder do?
He tries to advise the young monk, too. Tells him to basically be quiet, go away, and he repeats Visakha's point.
The same interpretation, that the girl wasn't really insulting him.
Yeah, essentially saying she was just describing the features of a monk, the cut hair, the cut robes, the bowl, focusing on the outward signs of renunciation again.
So same tactic, different monk. Does it work any better coming from his senior?
Still no. The young monk is quite defiant, even to the elder.
Really? What does he say?
He asks, Pante, why are you scolding me? Why aren't you scolding your supporter? Meaning Visakha, or the granddaughter. Is it okay for her to insult me like that? He still feels he's being unfairly blamed.
Goodness, it's a total deadlock. No one can get through to him. He feels wronged, and they keep trying to explain away the insult.
Exactly. And just as this impasse is, really solid,
Let me guess. The teacher arrives.
the teacher arrives, the Sata. He gets there and asks, what's going on here?
This feels like the moment things might actually shift. Visakha explains everything all over again.
Tells him the whole story right from the beginning. And here's where it gets really crucial. The commentary notes something specific.
What's that?
The teacher perceives that this young monk has the potential for stream entry, for Sotapati, a major spiritual milestone.
Okay, so he sees this potential.
Right, and because of that potential, the teacher decides the right approach, the skillful means, is actually to sort of validate the young monk's feeling, to follow or side with his perspective strategically.
So not necessarily agreeing the monk's anger is justified, but acknowledging the monk's feeling of being insulted to reach him.
Exactly. It's about meeting the monk where he is, because he's ready for a deeper lesson, but his current state is blocking it.
How does the teacher do that?
He turns to Visakha, and he asks her, essentially echoing the young monk's complaint. Is it really appropriate for your granddaughter to insult my disciple like this, calling him Chinasiza, just because of things like cut hair?
Ah, so he validates the monk's sense that the comment was insulting, cutting through the previous explanations.
Precisely. And it works, instantly.
What happened?
The young monk immediately stands up, pays respect to the teacher, and says, Bhante, you understand this problem. Our preceptor, meaning the elder monk, and the great lay follower, Visakha, they don't understand it well.
He feels heard, finally.
Completely. He feels understood, validated. And that makes him receptive. The text says the teacher saw the monk was now favorably disposed towards him, atano anukulavava.
So now, having opened that door, the teacher delivers the actual teaching. What is it?
He pivots. He says that laughing when focusing on kamago, on sense pleasures, is a hinodama. It's a low dharma, a base thing.
Okay, wait, so he shifts away from the insult itself. He goes back to the laughter, the root of the incident, not the fight about the words.
Exactly. It's not about who is right or wrong in the argument anymore. It's about the underlying cause, the granddaughter laughing at her reflection, which is tied to sense pleasure, appearance, perhaps vanity.
And the monk laughing in response may be caught up in that same energy?
Possibly. The focus is on that initial act rooted in kamagu. The commentary clarifies this low dhamma, hinodhamma.
What does it say?
It says it refers specifically to the five sense pleasures, as sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touch, when they become an object of clinging or base focus. Things pursued even by, base beings, potentially leading to lower rebirths.
So that laugh, triggered by seeing her own pleasing reflection, is identified as the problematic root. It's tied to a lao or unskillful way of engaging with the senses.
That's the core insight. And the teacher builds on it. He says one shouldn't engage in such a low dharma, nor should one live with pamadana.
Pamadana? What's that?
Heedlessness.
Yeah.
Lack of mindfulness. The commentary defines it as like letting go of mindfulness, being distracted, not present, not aware of what you're doing or its consequences.
Okay, so avoid base sense pleasure focus. Avoid heedlessness. What else?
And don't cling to majedahi.
Yeah.
Wrong view. Incorrect understanding of reality.
It seems like fundamental instructions. Avoid clinging to sense stuff. Stay mindful. See things clearly.
Pretty much sums it up. And he puts this into a verse, a gatha, for them.
Can you share the verse?
Sure. It's Hina zaman saveya, pamadena na saveya, michadina saveya na se lokavachano.
And the translation.
Do not pursue a low dharma. Do not live with heedlessness. Do not take up wrong view. One should not be an increaser of the world.
An increaser of the world. That's an interesting phrase. What does that mean? Lokavachano.
Yeah, the commentary unpacks that. It says someone who increases the world is someone who does these things, chases low sense pleasures, lives heedlessly, holds wrong views. By doing that, you perpetuate the cycle of suffering, the world of samsara. You increase it.
So by not doing these things.
By not doing them, you don't increase the world. You're moving away from suffering towards liberation.
Wow. So all of this profound teaching on sense pleasures, mindfulness, right view, It stemmed from that initial squabble over a reflection and an insult.
Incredible, isn't it?
What was the effect of this teaching right then and there, particularly on the young monk who felt so wronged?
The source is very clear. At the end of the teacher's discourse, that young monk attained stream entry. Sotapati.
He reached the first stage of awakening, just like that.
Just like that. The teacher saw the potential, used skillful means to make him receptive, and delivered the teaching that led to the breakthrough.
That is amazing. A kitchen argument turned into a path-opening moment.
And it wasn't just for him. The text adds, the discourse was beneficial, satika, for everyone else who was there too.
So this whole story, the Daharabhikkhuvatthu, it starts with something so seemingly small, a reflection, a laugh, an insult.
A very relatable human moment, really.
But it unfolds to reveal these really deep insights, doesn't it? About what counts as a low dharma, the danger of just drifting along heedlessly, the importance of how we see things.
Absolutely. It shows how, even tiny incidents can become these huge opportunities for teaching and transformation. If you look deeper, recognizing and stepping back from that pull of sense pleasures, cultivating mindfulness, correcting wrong views, these are presented as absolutely crucial.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? How often do our own small reactions, maybe moments of irritation, or even laughter,
Yeah,
especially laughter tied to maybe appearance or just immediate gratification, how often might those things connect us to something that, in a deeper sense, is kind of low or distracting?
that's a great question. And how might bringing more mindfulness, more awareness to those small everyday interactions actually change their course, change the outcome for us? Definitely something to reflect on.